What's up, y'all? It is Car, and I'm back with another video. If you are new, thank you for watching. I hope you stay around. I hope you subscribe, like, comment, whatever. And if you're returning, thank you so much for your continued support. Now, as y'all can see by the title, I'm going to be getting into a situation where this happened when I was in middle school. And so this happened after school. Me and my sisters, we were at the kitchen table doing our homework, and me and my youngest sister, I don't know what happened. I forget what altercation happened, but somehow we started going back and forth, and we were getting into it like a heated argument. And we're going back and forth. And, I used to have a lot of anger issues. So, and, you learn, you only are what environment you grew up in. So my youngest sister, she said something, and next thing you know, I called her a bitch. Like, it just came out, like, and literally, they're like, ooh. And I'm like, why? Like, in my head, like them few seconds, I'm like, what are you saying ooh for? Like, what? Because we were just all arguing and stuff like that. So why are you acting like that? Well, to my surprise, the moment that I called my sister the B word, it was literally the same time that my mother had walked in the house and into the kitchen, and she heard me loud and clear call my youngest sister that word. So when I turned around, all you seen was my mother's mouth dropped. Like, she was in total shock that I said that word. Like she doesn't cuss, like my dad didn't cuss, like we just didn't hear cuss words in movies. Like, you would have thought that I did the most heinous of crimes. But I understand that's like a derogatory term, and then this was to her youngest daughter, and it was just bad timing. Like, she literally caught me saying that, like, at the wrong time. So there was nothing I could do to deny it, and so what happened was my mother, she immediately punishes me. She starts punching me, hitting me, like beating me, like, making sure, like, oh, why you don't ever say that to your sister and to my daughter. Like, that was so disrespectful. So she, like, she beat me up, like I was crying and everything, but she, of course, still had to tell my father. And I think he was at work or something because he wasn't home yet. Yeah, so he wasn't even home, but she ended up telling him. And, that was, again, like a scary thing when he found out stuff, because he was so, like, harsh and like, oh, yo, like, if you got in trouble, like, he was so angry with it. And, like, it's like he took out all his life frustrations on his kids when he punished them. So, like, it was always a scary thing whenever we would get punished. So I'm probably like 10 or 11 because I'm in 7th grade. So eventually my dad gets home, and I can't remember if we had a conversation. I don't know if he might have had like a little 1-2 conversation with me real quick, like, about what I said. But after that, it was immediately he took off his belt, and literally he started beating me, like, in the kitchen. And I was crying and everything. Like, any of y'all who remember getting beat by the belt like that, that's not a fun task. It don't feel good or nothing. So he's beating me with this black belt as hard as he can, like I'm a slave and I tried to just run away with the church's money or something. He's beating me, beating. So I'm just taking it. I'm crying, like, and okay, so after you get beat for a while, like, you literally just, all right, your child's crying, you're done. Now you might say a few things, or you might tell him to go to the room or something like that. No, he literally is still there just beating me. It's like he's in a trance, and he's staring at me with so much evil intent. Y'all, I cannot exaggerate this. He was beating me for so long that I literally was able to cry And I couldn't cry anymore, to the point where now I'm sobbing, like trying to catch my breath, and he's still beating me down so bad. Like he was just stuck in this fixated, and I seen his evil in his eyes, and he just kept beating me and beating me and beating me. And it got to the point so bad to my mother ran into the kitchen and was like, Elvin, stop. That's enough. Literally, she literally had to like wake him up from a trance to get him to stop beating me. She said, that's enough. That is enough. Look at this. And like literally when I got up, you can see literally dozens of belt marks all against the kitchen wall. Like it was probably like 50 belt marks literally on the wall, because that's how long he was beating me. He beat me so long to the point where I didn't have no more left in me to cry. I was literally just there for dead. And if my mom didn't come in to run it, like if she didn't come in at that time, he would have probably still been there beating me all freaking night. Like who knows? And you know, like I could never understand, especially at the time, like why he had so much intense hate for me. But you know, looking back in retrospect, I understand that I was everything that he could never be. Me just being confident in my skin, that irked him to the core. I didn't know it at that time, but now I know, you know, and it put a huge strain on our relationship. Like my mom and dad, they separated, they got divorced and everything, but now they're back together, and it's like, she took him back, and it's like, okay, well, that's not my place or my business, but that's not something I would have ever agreed to. And now I'm not even on speaking terms with any of my family members, but it put a huge strain on me and his relationship. Well, we've always had a strained relationship because there was never no love. I never felt love coming off of my father from me. It was always hate. It was always disgust. It was always disappointment that was being projected into me and being beat into me, you know. So it's sad that, you know, as a child, you cannot go to your parents for love, for guidance, for support, you know. And even now in my 30s, like I've already went down that road of trying to mend the relationship. But you can only mend a relationship when both parties are working to fix it. But when you have certain parties who want to maintain a certain image and don't want to hold themselves accountable, so my parents are typical narcissists. They only care about their image, and they only care about how other people view them. They don't actually care about doing the work and putting in that work to actually make changes. They just don't. You know what I'm saying? I feel like my mom was, but because she reconnected with my father, now she's completely spiritually dead. Like, you know, she connected back to that dark man, and I just don't understand, you know. But I literally thought, I don't know, I thought I could have probably died in that situation, because literally he just kept beating me so badly. Like, he did not stop. He wasn't going to stop. Like, he was not going to stop if my mom didn't run in there and get him. All because I said the B word to my sister. Like, were much more worse things that I could have done. And there's much more worse things that my other siblings have done. And they didn't get that treatment. They didn't get continuously beat on and hated on and hurt on. You know, so I can't even make that story up. Like, I couldn't even exaggerate that story if I wanted to. No, that was the true story. Was I wrong for calling my sister a B? Yes, we were in a heated moment. But again, we're kids. Like, I'm in 7th grade. Like, so for me saying that one word, that you're saying that I deserved all of that beating? No, I didn't. A quick little 5-minute beating would have worked. Something else, but to keep beating me continuously for like 10 minutes straight, no lie, like nonstop 10 minutes straight, you're beating me with a belt and you have no signs of stopping. Like, you're not even saying anything. You're just literally hitting me and hate, so much hate. I just never understood, you know. So for so many years, like, because of all this constant beatdown and just hatred poured into me, my confidence was all shot down. Like, I didn't know who I was. I couldn't express who I was, because when I expressed who I was, it was shot down. It was not respected. It wasn't appreciated or loved. And nowadays, like, I've poured so much into me, poured so much love back into me, that, you know, I make it my choice if I wanted to deal with my family or not. And right now, currently, it's no contact, you know, because it's the same old games and the same old cycles for years in and years out. And if I respect myself and value myself and love myself enough not to be treated less than I deserve, then I'm going to keep myself away from people who don't respect me, from people who claim they love me, but their actions show otherwise. So I'm just sharing these stories because I know people who have probably went through worse than me, people who may have not went through what I went through at all, and people who've experienced similar things to me, because this is going to help us grow. This is going to help us heal. This is going to help us connect and just realize the world is a lot smaller than we think it is, and we have so much more in common. But I also want to just say that you don't have to allow your life situations to define you. And you don't have to say that, hey, because I went through this is the life I have to live. No, you can choose whatever life you want. You just have to learn how to unlearn all of those lies, unlearn all of that hurt and all that pain that was poured into you and dumped onto you as a kid. And once you unlearn that and heal from that, you can start fresh. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to subscribe to anybody's belief system that you don't want to. And so that's the freeing thing about where I'm at in life now. That's like, I'm so spiritually free. My spirit is free. For all these years, I've had these people keeping my spirit trapped down by punishing me because I was acting this way, punishing me because I was not who they wanted me to be, you know, and I had all these restrictions placed onto me and projected onto me where I felt trapped emotionally, mentally, physically, everything. But now I did the work to unlift those things up off of me to where I feel so free now, to where I don't allow people's projections to force themselves onto me. But I know I just went off on a crazy rant there. But again, this is me processing, you know, the things that I've experienced, and hopefully it does help someone out there like you who's watching this. I have a lot of stories that I can share and a lot of wisdom that, you know, I've experienced and I've learned and I've gained just by the things that I've went through in life. And if I could just help just one other person who's watching this, to help inspire them, to help motivate them, to help change their mindset, to just help give it another shot, you know, because as long as you're breathing, you have another chance. If I can do that just for one person, then I'm satisfied, you know. So let me know in the comments if you really enjoyed this, if you have a similar experience with your parents or anybody in your family, and how do you deal with them? How do you deal with the pain? How do you cope with the trauma that you dealt with? Let's start a discussion in the comments below, and I will see y'all on another video.